good.
Hey, everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled podcast adventure. Hooray. My
That was
name's
a
Midnight.
pretty anticlimactic hooray there.
It was, it was. Got it in there. I got in a hooray. Cretchen's over there, by the way, yes.
I hate this place.
That's a lie. I do not hate this place. I have been here 7 years.
So some parts of the statement are true.
Yes.
Some people don't like the place. Some people don't like the medication. Sometimes the medication works. Sometimes the medication doesn't work.
I don't think that he doesn't like the medication. He just complains it doesn't work.
Oh, you're right. He probably would like the medication if it did work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Not that medication.
Our buddy Joe's not here. He wrote in the Slack channel that his freelance work has overtaken his life. He is being inundated with the requests. He's got meetings, TPS reports, memos. It's just all happening for him, and he's just covered in like artwork and paper. He can't escape it. And so I don't know what to do.
Yay! It's everywhere.
Yeah,
that was specifically about white supremacy, though.
Yeah, it was. So no Joe. Hopefully his freelance work will calm down. I suspect probably within the next few months, Joe will have a little bit more peace and a little bit more free time to where he can come back on the show. And he'll come back up on the show. He'll be all ramped up and ready to go, reinvigorated. And that's just the way it is, people. He dips out sometimes, and then he dips back in. That's Joe. I mean, if people listen to the show for any length of time, they know Joe. He'll go hard and heavy, and then he'll dip out for a month or two, and then he comes right back on, better than ever, and he brings it. And that's what people are looking forward to. Until that time, Cretchen and I will hold down the show. We'll keep it going. We carry the torch. Thank you.
Yay! Well, also, if you want to interact with Joe, he's in the Discord pretty often. So if you're not in the Discord, join the Patreon for as little as $1 or as much as $2 million a day. And you too can be in the Discord. And Joe's in there all the time posting nonsense and commentary and all sorts of fun stuff. Yeah,
you can harass him in there, and he will respond to you. Sometimes in a timely manner, but he's in there at weird hours. I got an email from a listener. I've been trying to catch up with emails, but I'm not good at that, people. But someone did write in and said, "Hey, do you and Joe ever play video games together anymore?" Like there would be occasions, like a few years ago, where Joe and I would get together, play Call of Duty. Years ago, we played Project Zomboid together. And I had to think, it's been a while since Joe and I have gotten together and done any sort of video gaming together, whether it's on our own time or through the Discord. And I had to reply back, no, it's been a while since Joe and I have indulged in a video game together. We got to change that. I did state that every now and again on Sunday nights in the OBDM Discord, I'll post up. I'm playing PUBG, sometimes Boogie, and the guys in there will play Sea of Thieves. I joined them once. So Sunday nights tend to be the video gaming nights in the Discord. If you're interested, there is quite a nice community in there, playing a wide variety of games, mostly Steam. And occasionally you can catch me in there, and I'll be broadcasting my horrible PUBG gameplay. And I'll talk to listeners in there and occasionally have, just a one-on-one, maybe a one-on-three conversation with people in there, just talking about anything they want to talk about. So, okay, that was about absolutely nothing, but join the Discord, okay?
Join the Discord. You can harass Joe, and Joe will be back when Joe is doing less work, I guess. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he took on a bunch of freelance gigs and then got a full-time gig, but still has all these freelance gigs, so lots to do.
I think that's exactly what happened. He took any job that he could while he was waiting to get full-time work, and then he had to fulfill the freelance obligations, and so now it's kind of like all culminating. And he's probably super stressed out, super crunched for time, and I get it. I've been there. I'm there sometimes, so we love Joe. In the meantime, we are going to try to do the best show we can, and today we do have we got a little Monster May for everyone out there.
Monster May.
All right, monsters.
It's a little Art Bell. Yeah, we got a little Monster May for everyone. We're coming to the end of Monster May. What do we got? We got I've been doing Monster May pretty much every Saturday of May. So there's 2 more left. That's a pretty healthy Monster May. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I will have done a total of 6 Monster May segments. So that is a pretty packed Monster May. I would say that people should not be disappointed in this. They mustn't be.
Bigfoot.
No Bigfoot today. We are talking about the Van Meter Visitor. Yay! You ever hear about the Van Meter Visitor, Gretchen?
I don't think so. At least not. But I don't recognize the name. So tell me about it.
So the Van Meter Visitor. This was sent in. This was sent in by Roscoe P. Coltrane. That's the name he goes by on Instagram. So I don't know. I don't know if that's his birth name.
What was the name of Roscoe's dog?
Oh God, I don't know. I should. That's a Dukes of Hazzard reference. I should know it, but I don't.
Y'all stick around for the barbecue. You hear?
Well, or stick around for Monster May. We're going to be talking about the Van Meter Visitor. I'll bring this article up on screen. This is what Roscoe sent me. And I did a little digging into this, and it does seem like this particular cryptid has some characteristics and features that people might recognize in some other cryptids. So I'll bring this up on screen real quick, and we'll just kind of go over some of these things here. So here it is, the Van Meter Visitor, based out of Iowa. You don't hear a lot of cryptids out of Iowa, not that I know of, but Roscoe said, hey, I'm from Iowa, the other Ohio, and I thought you might be interested in the Van Meter Visitor. So the Van Meter Visitor, or the Van Meter Monster, is a flying cryptid that is said to have been seen in Van Meter, Iowa in 1903 when a local number townsfolk reported a strange creature that terrorized the town for several nights. So what are the characteristics? Well, the characteristics of this cryptid, it's a half human, half animal with large bat-like wings, glowing red eyes, and horn-like appendages on its head. It's described roughly about 7 to 9 feet tall. So that's a pretty big cryptid. That's a
big boy.
Yeah, that's a big boy right there. It's not something you want to mess around with.
It's just massive.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty. Like the only other cryptids that I would place bigger than this, sometimes Dogman and Bigfoot. Sometimes Bigfoot gets there are rumors or sightings like 10 foot. We're talking 12 foot at a time, and but that's but oftentimes the Bigfoot is right around 6 to 7 foot. Not a incredibly big foot. like an average foot. But when it comes down to the behavior of this cryptid, reports said that this cryptid, the Van Meter visitor, immune to bullets, capable of emitting blinding light, and is believed to be aggressive. When I first read emitting blinding lights, like almost kind of like Godzilla, how he breathed that radiation on people. Not only would it blind you, but it would also melt your face. So I don't think the Van Meter visitor is doing that, just blinding you with light. So when it comes to evidence, there's limited anecdotal reports, no concrete physical evidence or scientific proof. Well, this is 1903, so not a lot of people had access to cameras. They maybe didn't jot down their notes. It was basically just talk amongst the townsfolk about what they were experiencing. Multiple local citizens reported sightings of the Van Meter visitor in 1903. These sightings continued for several nights. So what are some of these sightings? What they actually experienced? They're just kind of brief. And they started basically in late September and went into early October. So the first one was from Dr. Alcott. Dr. Alcott, a respected physician, was awakened by a bright light shining through his window. Upon investigating, he encountered a towering creature with bat-like wings and a glowing horn on its forehead. He fired his weapon at the being, but it appeared to be unfazed or by the bullets, or the bullets bounced off of him, or he could just absorb that bullet and was totally just like, hey, stop it. Stop shooting at me, please. And this winged creature emitted a foul odor before disappearing. So kind of maybe like a classic oil slick. Like I'm going to leave some of my waste behind as a thank you and goodbye. Then, I think a night later on October 1st, Clarence Dunn, a bank cashier, was on night duty when he noticed a bright light outside the bank. Suspecting a robbery, he armed himself, ventured out, only to confront the creature. He fired his shotgun, but the entity remained unaffected again and then fled. The following morning, Dunn discovered a three-toed footprint near the bank and made a plaster cast of them. So this is almost a fairly rare occurrence, or maybe it speaks to the time. Like out there in Iowa in the early 1900s, people were just willing to shoot at the drop of a hat. We don't get the cryptid reports like this, like in modern day. A lot of time when people see a Bigfoot nowadays, they don't. I don't at least read the reports where they're just firing right off the bat. So.
That's the way to do it, though. You don't know what the thing is, you take a couple shots.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. And
fire 2 blasts.
Was Iowa back in 1903? Was that considered the Wild West?
I don't think Iowa's ever the Wild West.
Okay, it's out there. I don't know how wild it was. I'm sure it wasn't as civilized as, say, Virginia in 1903. I'm sure it was still a little loosey-goosey out there. People are probably more apt to fire some stuff. Yeah. Yep, they're doing that.
I think specifically it was get a shotgun and fire 2 blasts.
You're right. And that would ward off the Van Meter visitor as well as a number of other cryptids.
Fired 2 blasts outside the house.
Well, in October 1903, this is October 2nd, Whitney and Sidney Gregg, they were disturbed by a noise and spotted a creature perched atop a telephone pole. He also shot at it, but the creature merely emitted a noxious odor again and flew away. A nearby resident, Sidney, witnessed the creature's departure and described it as a massive kangaroo-like beast with wings. So we have 3 different people in 3 days cracking off at this thing, and absolutely nothing is happening besides those gunshots producing a foul odor from this thing. And let's see what happened on the fourth day. We're talking about the 3rd of October. Well, a group of armed townspeople tracked the creature to an abandoned coal mine on the town's outskirts. They approached. They heard unsettling noises described as though Satan and a regiment of imps were coming forth for battle. Suddenly, 2 creatures emerged, one larger and one smaller. Despite the townspeople opening fire, the beings emitted a blinding light and an overpowering stench before retreating into the mine. The townspeople then sealed off the mine entrance, and the creatures were never seen again. And so these accounts, well, at the bare minimum, highlight a consistency and a seriousness in which the townspeople regarded this visitor, the Van Meter visitor, the creature's immunity to bullets, the luminous horn, and the overpowering odor it emitted were reoccurring themes in these reports. The involvement of the community members lends to credibility of these events, but other than the plaster cast being taken, not a lot of other physical evidence was gathered at that point in time. So, like a winged creature that can produce weird, I guess, light or sounds. Well, they do have some characteristics as some other notable cryptids. Most, I guess, famously, Mothman. So Mothman of Point Pleasant, famous in the late 60s, was also a tall humanoid with wings, glowing red eyes. It, by all accounts and witnesses, it flew silently. Didn't create a lot of noise, but it was also associated with glowing lights. It was often seen before disasters, and so the similarities are wings, red eyes, and fear-inducing presence. And I tried to look for other events in Van Meter in Iowa around 1903 when it came to like UFO sightings, various other paranormal events. Nothing came up immediately, but some people at this point in time, some other UFO researchers did take note of some other weird goings-on, specifically the airship flap of the late 1800s and the early 1900s. So the airship wave that primarily took place between 1896 and 1897, there were numerous reports that emerged across the United States of unidentified flying objects described as airships or dirigibles. These sightings often including accounts of airborne crafts with bright lights, unusual shapes, sometimes humanoid occupants. While many of these reports were concentrated in California and the Midwest, including Illinois and Nebraska, there is limited evidence to suggest that Iowa was significantly affected by the wave. So it's just an idea. Iowa wasn't really moving and shaking at that point in time in the nation's history. And so that's the best analogy that some UFO researchers could make. So maybe the Van Meter visitor was connected to the airship flap in some way, but it's a bit of a stretch at that point. But some other cryptids that might make a similar appearance as the Van Meter visitor. Some people think the Thunderbirds are pretty closely associated. So Thunderbirds are massive bird-like creatures, most notable in Native American folklore, especially in the Great Plains and the Pacific Northwest. They have wingspans up to 20 feet or more, and they're often linked to thunderstorms and natural phenomena. There was a great documentary put out by Small Town Monsters on Thunderbirds, and that documentary had featured a lot of stories from Illinois. And so there's a lot of weird Thunderbird, large flying creatures in Illinois. And then when it comes to, Some people described a Van Meter visitor as having a kangaroo-like body. Well, the Jersey Devil out there in Pine Barrens, New Jersey, people describe that as having a kangaroo-like body with bat wings and a goat-like head. It also emitted a high-pitch scream. So no reports of three toes on the Jersey Devil that I saw, but a noxious odor is also associated with the Jersey Devil. And then you have the Owl Man from Cornwall in England, which is very similar, and that also had red eyes, large wings, and that was observed near old churches and graveyards. So there's a wide variety of flying humanoids that could resemble or be linked to the Van Meter visitor, but I don't think those people out there in Cornwall were cracking off shots at the Owl Man. They should have. I think they had their guns back there. In 1903, I think they probably could have taken a few shots at people in England, right? I don't think they didn't give up their guns until much later.
There's one other, I guess, semi-cryptid that you're overlooking that has a similar description of being very tall, having kind of bat-like wings, glowing red eyes, the ability to fly or potentially jump great distances.
Are you talking about Spring Heel Jack?
I am talking about Spring Heel Jack.
Spring Heel Jack is such a crazy cryptid. It was also in the UK. Now, I'm just going off my memory. Spring Heel Jack, people reported him to have basically like a fishbowl head. And within that fishbowl head or helmet that he wore, some people said there was some sort of electricity or lightning going on in there. The guy could jump anywhere from 20 to 80 feet up. His hands were claws or razor blades, and he liked to accost women. Very strange. And sometimes he wore a cape. It was very steampunk the way people described him, even at that time.
Kind of like a steampunk Batman. Almost.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if did they report wings on Spring Heel Jack?
Yeah, sometimes he was described as having almost like bat wings because they're thinking it was probably his cape that he was wearing, but or depending on whether it was a long cloak or something. Other times he'd been described as having, whether it was a mask or he had horns growing out of his head or something on his like hood or something like that. So there's a couple of different descriptions of him, but there are a couple where they do mention glowing red eyes. So there's some variations of him.
So Spring Heel Jack first reported in 1837, so way earlier than the Van Meter visitor.
Maybe he retired to Iowa.
He went to the colonies. To get away from the hustle and bustle of England, but he couldn't stop doing his spring healing even when he got to Iowa. He loved it so much. Now, it was I'm trying to look for any sort of reports of Spring Heel smelling bad. So here are some of the similarities between Spring Heel Jack and the Van Meter visitor.
Oh, wait, can we just ask AI to do this? Will it figure it out?
Yeah, I'm figuring it out right now. That's way ahead of you. I have a chat GPT.
Here I am searching stuff like a goon on the Googles.
Well, I have my chat GPT loaded up with all my cryptid information. These are humanoid accounts from the year 1000 to 2005. I got a whole bunch of cryptid books loaded in here. And so I quiz it. I do comparisons with various other creatures. So it has time, dates, locations. And so I got my custom GPT here. But when it comes to the similarities between the Van Meter visitor and Spring Heel Jack, Spring Heel Jack's incredible leaping is close analog to the Van Meter visitor's flight. I think that's a bit of a stretch. But when it comes to immunity to weapons, like the Van Meter entity, bullets and attacks have no effect on Spring Heel Jack. Both creatures seem to cause intense panic and fear in the population. That includes media coverage. But I would think any creature, regardless, would probably induce panic in the local populace. When it comes to glowing light, Spring Hill Jack's flames or eyes resonate with the visitor's glowing horn. So there's a link there. And then Lasting Legacy both have iconic local legends and are celebrated in modern festivals and retellings. Yeah, so Van Meter, like with most major or significant events, they do have a Van Meter festival. And up on the screen here, I mean, here's a little JPEG of the news articles at the time that people were talking about. So the press, the local press, was talking about this, and it was reported on. Now, I know at the time in the late 1800s, early 1900s, sometimes the press would just pick up on weird stuff and then really run with it, or they just might even make something up in an effort to sell newspapers. Not unlike what happens today, okay? Although they're not selling newspapers today, they're selling ad space on the internet. But they might blow things out of proportion in an effort to gain public interest and to get eyes on their newspapers. So, but it has persisted, and people did probably see something. It's tough to tell exactly what that was. And a lot of these cryptid sightings, the best stuff, the best stories, they always take place like 50, 60 years ago. We need some new, modern cryptid encounters, like something of significance. And I think
like
that
the last Van Meter visitor sighting of April 14th, 2025 or something like that?
Well, I would say the most significant cryptid flap that has happened has been the Mothman flap. Mothman in Chicago Mothman, that in and around the Chicago area, multiple different people saw Mothman. When I was visiting my parents and my brothers out in Illinois, I was kind of just looking around the area, like on the map of who saw Mothman and where. And just like 15 minutes from my parents' house, there was a Mothman sighting in 2018. There was another one a little further north. And so I guess when it comes to modern cryptid sightings, that's the place. That's the place you want to go. You want to go to Chicago, South Chicago, in that area, and you're going to see flying creatures. If you just go out at night, look up, and be calm, and just listen, you will find something. You will see something.
Well, I put up an image here of Spring Hill Jack standing right next to the Van Meter visitor with appropriate sizing and whatnot, so they do have some similarities.
Oh, I think the Van Meter visitor could take them. Pound for pound, absolutely. You could take them big time.
It's just massive.
What if they're teamed up? What if they're teamed up to fight crime? How about that?
Oh, you think they're like a tag team? Like Batman and Robin out there? I don't know. They don't look like crime fighters to me. They look like crime doers. But
well,
they could be a tag team.
They have to commit a crime, and then they can solve it.
Well, this could be like the time Hulk Hogan teamed up with Macho Man because they had to. You know, they were in such a bind, even though they were like opposing forces in the WWE. Sometimes you got to team up with your nemesis to defeat a larger villain, like Andre the Giant or something like that. So, can you have did you have AI do that?
No, I drew it by hand right now. Yeah,
well, could you add Andre the Giant in there? Could you have those two guys fighting Andre the Giant? Because that's the only villain that would require multiple different cryptid creatures to take on at one time. In my opinion, he's the biggest. He's the best.
By the way, as I was digging through some of this stuff, it does say here that the time period for Spring Hill Jack, as you point out, much earlier. Yep. But they said 1837, the last reported sighting, 1903. Mm-hmm. And you said the Van Meter visitor first reported sighting 1903.
Correct. Okay.
So maybe he retired, moved to Iowa, grew 2 feet, and then continued terrorizing people.
Or adjusted his suit.
He got bigger boots.
You got bigger boots. You adjust the suit to fit the culture, to fit the needs, because everything's bigger in America. And so you got to go a little bigger. You got to go a little brighter. Instead of just glowing eyes, you need a glowing horn. You adjust the suit.
I will be the last one.
Yes, yes.
You are the Goon Squad.
All right. Well, there is our Monster May, people. Hope everyone found it enlightening, if not somewhat entertaining.
Wait.
Monster May. Don't worry. As soon as you got that new image up there, I'm going to put it on screen.
Okay, there it is.
There you go. It is the Van Meter visitor standing next to Andre the Giant. And by the way, I think this is to scale.
It's pretty close.
This is to scale. And then the Spring Hill Jack down there on the right. That is amazing. That has to be our artwork for this podcast episode.
I'll put Bigfoot. Shop, you can save it. Or I guess you can grab. Can you pull it right off of that feed?
Yeah.
Or do you want it somewhere else?
I can. I'm just going to go over there right now. I'm going to see if I can save this down. Save image. Yes. There we go. That's awesome.
Twice now, as I've been typing Andre the Giant, I've typoed on Andrew the Giant.
Andrew the Giant.
The lesser known heel from World Championship Wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Andre does have a much more intimidating, I guess, name. Man, it just sounds a little...
He was billed as being from, like, Grenoble or somewhere, wasn't he?
Yeah. Wasn't he from France?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy was... Yeah, he was a frog, pretty much. But the biggest frog I've ever seen. You know what I'm talking about?
But now you are the French teacher.
Let's see. He was billed at 7'4", but I don't think he was actually that tall.
I think he was pretty big. So back in the early 80s, when they came to like promoting like wrestlers, they said Hulk Hogan was like 6'10". They always kind of inflated the stats of these guys. And so, I think they may have fibbed a little bit on some of the heights on some of the big time wrestlers. They wanted them to sound larger than life. And they were, but they pumped it up even more. While you figure out the true height of Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan, I'm going to transition us over to read some more stories. Well, actually, maybe. I was thinking about doing a drawbridge of donations first.
I'm going to say, do you have a song for Drawbridge of donations?
I do.
I
do.
Yes, we have to do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I
really like the musical versions of Drawbridge of donations.
And I might have to get out of here in about 1 hour and 10 minutes too. I leave a little early for this podcast. We're gonna get out of here a little early because I got to go to a family function again. A lot of families and a lot of functioning.
Yes.
You have to go out and help people rebuild the wall around their house after the Van Meter visitor destroyed it again last night.
Yeah, I do. But we have plenty more stories to get to. But before we do that, we are going to honor some people with the drawbridge of donations. Here we go. I'm going to put down the drawbridge right now. I'm going to walk across that, slap the donkey of destiny right there. Start breaking some windows. There's Bogey. Oh, there's Mr. Mustache. Let's put the Hot Pocket in the microwave right now. There's the sheep of courage right there. And let's start thanking some people with this donation song. Here we go, people. We're going to go over to the Cave of Honor.
Hey everyone, it's that time again. Pile on the drawbridge with all your friends. Over the limit, no turning back. We're heading full speed down the donation track. Yeah! Let's thank the Patreon people now. Grab your boots and take a bow. Happy Fool and Anthony Ottages. Yeah. Bill Jensen, oh Billy boy, don't quit. What about Eli? Stand up proud. Stand from Alaska, yelling loud. Stand from Alaska. Yeah! Arthur Anderson, oh yes, Arthur. Great wavy grabbler, you weird donation martyr. Keenan Fagan, yeah, you did. Rooster, you the kid. Joel Kyle Stenger, feel that burn. RP from IC, it's your turn. RP from IC. What about Pain Gray? Bring that pain. Ouch, not too much, brother, ease that strain. Jay and Toby, Lucas too. Oh, to Bister, we thank you. Jordan, oh, Joe. Yee-hi, it's the donation stampede. You gave the love and we felt the need.
You piece of shit.
We tip our hats, raise a glass high to the folks who keep this dumb show alive.
The creature.
Now here come the PayPal stars, rolling in with the digital guitars. Tyler Fine said green skin was gold. We agree, partner story never gets old. Arterburn or Wise Wolf crew, exchanging silver like real ones do. DBI Wise Wolf, oh yeah. Timothy Taylor, yippee yippo. Chris Wagman, aka Skid Mark, whoa. Skeen. Michael Krauser, the Krauser-nator, blowing up the board like a donator detonator. Andrew Galway, oh Andy, you gave like Barry Manilow on a donation wave. John Farmer, what you growing? Hearts of gold, yeah, they're showing. Aaron Luster sent a note our way. Re-upload that episode, he said. Well, Mike did that. Holy shit, what the fuck? Now we're lit. Yeah, yeah.
We're bringing it home right now, people.
Yeah, it's the donations.
We're bringing it home. Come on.
You gave the love and we felt the need.
This is what I want. This is what I need.
We tip our hats, raise a glass high to the folks who keep this dumb show alive. This podcast rides on folks like you. Yes, it do. Now here come the subscribe star hardcore. These ain't just fans, they're folklore. Slash Doom, Danny Sullivan, Felix, you sons of guns. Slash Danny Felix.org. Fuck Teespring. Fuck Teespring. Fuck Teespring.
Sorry about that. So
That took a turn.
yeah, at the end there, you just start cursing out Teespring, the company Teespring. Sorry about that, people. So, hey, thank you for supporting the show. There's a drawbridge of donations right there. And I took the opportunity to curse out Teespring.
You didn't break enough windows, I don't think.
I broke about 30. Close the garage door right there. It's going to take us out of the drawbridge donation. If you look at the Cave of Honor right there, I did install a brand new piss pool for everyone in the Cave of Honor.
When did you put the hot dog machine in?
I put it in March. I put the hot dog machine in March. It's within reach when you're in the piss pool. And so, yeah.
Are those the same hot dogs you put on in March?
Yes, they're still rotating. Yeah.
So at this point, they've turned into what we as kids knew as wizard fingers.
They're still good. I mean, they're pretty good. You have to try one, but if one's good, they're all good.
I don't think they're going to go bad.
No, not in the Cave of Honor, although it is pretty damp down there. But thank you, everyone, for supporting the show and making it possible. Really appreciate everyone's support out there. And we're going to move on and do some fun stories, some excellent news that everyone is sure to enjoy. I do have some more weird, like paranormal news. Do you want to do that? Or I got some fairly crazy current events news. Like,
I think everyone enjoys paranormal.
Yeah, I think so. I think everyone wants a little paranormal, some craziness. So on Twitter, which is now known as X, One of the, I guess I would say one of the loudest voices when it comes to the more out there conspiracies about UFOs is Ashton Forbes. I think it's Ashton Forbes. And he is the MH370 guy who is a big proponent of the orbs that were circling the aircraft and basically teleported it. The video was going around for a hot minute. People have dismissed it. People have debunked it. They have said, oh, we can recreate that. What you believe, Ashton, is nothing more than elaborate video effects hoax. But I don't know. I have yet to see someone reproduce that video with the same technology that existed in 2014 when the video initially was put out. So I'm kind of up in the air. So I'll play this video. This is from a guy. I think he claims to be a doctor. I don't know if that's true. But
you mean like medical Dr. Joe Biden?
This is Dr. Simon. Dr. Simon.
Do what he says.
This is what Dr. Simon is saying about Ashton and the MH370. I'll bring this up on screen. Now, this guy's got some wacky hair. He's got Harry Potter glasses, so that means I believe him. And just lends to his credibility overall in general. Here we go. I'll bring this up on screen. Here we go, people.
Let's see what connection there is to MH370. I hope you're intrigued. Right. All right. So I have to say, Ashton Forbes has been incredibly tenacious, despite being ridiculed by the corridor crew, who got it wrong. And lots of other people saying, it's a fake video, what's really going on there? But the more he has stuck to his guns, and the more I have tried to help as a broadcast TV professional, looking into the video evidence for him, I see things in it, which means it's not a hoax. One, it was done incredibly quickly after the MH370 disappeared. Too quick for a hoax or a prankster. Second, the orbs in it go actually behind the aircraft and through the smoke trail, making Newtonian physics happen in the smoke. Why would a hoaxer do that? And yesterday, Ashton really got me interested. That there's two frame rates going on in the video. First of all, the aircraft is 6 frames per second, not boom, 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 boom. Imagine a kind of CCTV frame rate rather than the video signal. Why is very important. But Ashton pointed out something that you should really listen to. The video is at 24, 25 frames per second. That's because, folks, this is big news, really big news. That's because, folks, it's a screen recording on a computer with a variable size window. The person who screen recorded it carefully cropped it not to share classified sensor data, but he did share the cursor as he was moving around. So the whole recording is 24, 25 frames per second, but the aircraft that you're seeing in the screen recording is 6 frames per second. Why would a hoaxer do that? They wouldn't. It's almost impossible to have multiple screen rates in a graphic, to have a graphic going at one speed and a screen recording of the graphic going at a different speed. It nails it for me. Whatever we're seeing, and that's a great debate, whatever happened to MH370, whoever filmed it, and whatever we're seeing on the screen isn't a hoax. It was captured by a high altitude Reaper or aerostat, I believe, type of drone, a surveillance drone running a piece of software called Gorgon Stare, which you need to understand. Gorgon Stare is not a video camera. It's not a video camera on a satellite. Like we all think, the opening scenes of Enemy of the State and the NRO where satellites flying over the city and it picks you up and it zooms in, it can read your... No. It's much better than that. Gorgon Stare takes in the whole city with multiple data from multiple satellites, multiple sensors, infrared, SAR, some optical, and lots of other data such as cell phone and voice and everything. What Gorgon Stare is an unbelievably wide aspect sensor data that you, as a mere human, cannot interpret by looking at the raw data.
So they're just an interesting little thing. The first time I've heard of Gorgon Stare. Have you ever heard of this technology before?
I have not, no.
Yeah, so apparently it is an advanced aerial surveillance system developed by the United States Air Force to provide persistent wide area motion imagery Its key features includes a multi-camera array, employs a spherical array in 9 cameras mounted on a drone, capturing imagery over a wide area. It has a wide area coverage. The system can monitor areas up to 100 square kilometers, providing continuous observation and the ability to revisit specific locations. Then it has real-time analysis, data storage, and retrieval. Gorgon stereo records vast amounts of data, enabling analysis to review past activities within the surveillance area, which is crucial for forensic analysis and intelligence gathering. So, first time I've heard of this, but it does appear to be a real technology developed by DARPA and also developed by the Sierra Nevada Corporation. And it was introduced to enhance situational awareness in combat zones. Its deployment has significantly improved the military's ability to conduct surveillance over large areas without a need for multiple aircraft. So, just an interesting piece of technology that has been referenced here. So, I don't know, this MH370 orb thing, just it pops up over and over again, and it definitely is a point of contention within the UFO community. It's very divisive. I want to believe, I certainly do, but it is just an incredible piece of footage. Fake or not, very well done. What's your opinion on it, Gretchen? Do you think it's fake?
You mean on the orb?
Yeah, the orb video
footage. Well, I mean, anyone could. I mean, if you're doing CGI, anyone can do that. I mean, we had dinosaurs in the early '90s.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
We did. We did have dinosaurs. That is a good point. But we'll move on with some other paranormal, creepy news. I have this one. I'll bring this up on screen. This is along the lines of some crazy cryptid stuff. And so this is man captures creepy trail camera footage of strange figure in Arizona.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got some creepy trail cam footage in Arizona. Someone or something was seemingly lurking in a remote drainage ditch in the early hours of the morning. A couple months back, Danny Pusher of Fort Apache, Arizona, posted on Facebook a report that had spotted something strange in a trail camera footage near his home. Have we seen this? Is this the one maybe submitted by our listeners? Let's see. We'll see the footage here in a second. He set up a camera to see if he could capture anything unusual after hearing a particular howl or crying noise coming from the darkness around 5 a.m. a couple days earlier. Sure enough, when he checked back at the footage, he saw a strange figure that seemed to have been walking along the drainage ditch about 2:22 a.m. in the morning. Spooked by the sighting, he posted the footage online to get a second opinion. So let's check out the footage right here.
Where's the actual footage? I'm trying to find it. There's an image of the footage, but
I'm playing it.
Oh, it's a Facebook embed.
I see. So I have it playing, and it does look like an upright figure walking, but it's so distant. It's not. Maybe it's 50 yards off. Maybe, who knows? But it's very inconclusive. But there is something walking back there. There is something moving back there in the distance.
All right, I got a beef here already. Why is this person recording, presumably the back of their trail cam, with their phone?
Yeah.
Why don't you eject the SD card and save the higher quality video, or you plug in a USB cable, whatever you need to get the actual raw video off of this thing?
Computer's broke.
Oh, the computer's broke. I got you.
This is exactly what happened with the Ashton Forbes photography, is that someone recorded the Orb MH370 footage from like their camera or a different device in order to smuggle it out. In this instance, for this Arizona creepy footage, it's your footage. There's no classification. You don't have to worry about anything like that. Just like Cratchit said, download it. Upload the raw video.
Have a computer problem.
I think it's a leprechaun.
Well, in this day and age, why not? That's the only thing that could make sense at this point. Is a leprechaun, something like that. I don't know.
A leprechaun.
Well, it's also worth pointing out that if you're placing trail cams, and these are using infrared emitters to provide some amount of illumination, at least to the camera itself. It's not visible to the naked eye. But there's several plants right in front of this.
Yeah.
So the plants are well illuminated, thus blowing out the camera. So the sensor irises that down. So now the quality of the recording for anything farther away than 2 feet in front of this camera is pretty much worthless. So move your camera.
Great point. Or cut down those plants.
Or just go stomp those out.
And this is one of the things that came up in the most recent season of Expedition Bigfoot. They're placing trail cameras up and around Bigfoot hotspots, and they were using infrared as well to illuminate the area. And they realized with some motion detectors that the Bigfoot were staying away from the areas with the trail cams with the infrared. It's almost as if the Bigfoot knew that these trail cams were there and they were emitting infrared. Like they could see in that spectrum. And so what they decided to do was to just disable the infrared.
Some animals can actually see wider
spectrum. Yeah, of course.
Wider visual spectrum than humans. So.
And so that's what they were speculating. So they covered up the actual infrared sensors or the light in an effort to kind of get the Bigfoot to come back in the area, and it did. But the Bigfoot, they do have a picture of a hand reaching up to the trail cam and moving it so it wouldn't face the direction that the Bigfoot wanted to go. And so they got like this image of like a finger in front of the trail cam.
Conclusive.
And it's they're claiming it is a Bigfoot hand. So there you go.
Bigfoot.
At the end of Monster May, I'll do a big rundown on Expedition Bigfoot Season 3 or Season 6. They had some pretty interesting findings, and they got some good footage of a supposed Bigfoot. I'll present that all in a couple weeks. Pretty fascinating. But we'll move on here. We've got some more stories for everyone out there. There's a new documentary out called The King of UFOs.
Piss.
This comes from the UK Disclosure Group. I'll just bring this up on screen real quick. If people, maybe some UK people can see this screening, I'd be kind of curious about it. Yeah, there's a new UK UFO Disclosure Group to debut with screening of King of UFOs. So according to the press release, the UK Disclosure Group, which will be headed up by the filmmakers and UFO disclosure advocate Mark Christopher Lee, will officially launch on Monday, the 19th of May, at the Carmen Sanctum Hotel in Soho, London. As they're saying, hey, we're not dealing with science fiction. We are dealing with real events, real sightings, and real security implications, says Lee. The UK is falling behind the US when it comes to the open dialogue and transparency.
Come on. I mean, the open dialogue and transparency we're getting is nonsense.
Oh, right.
We must create an independent, safe platform for whistleblowers in the UK to share what they know without fear of ridicule or reprisal.
It's bullshit.
Remarkably, the group is hoping to recruit singer and UFO enthusiast Robbie Williams to be its figurehead. You know Robbie Williams? He was in
I know of him, but
yeah, he was in a UK boy band. He had one or two hits in the US as a solo singer. And as of late, he has been a little bit more open about his paranormal experiences. He did take a trip to Skinwalker Ranch with Jeremy Corbell and all that kind of stuff. So he's all into the topic. And goes on to say Robbie has been a long-time champion for taking the UFO topic seriously. He has both the courage and the cultural influence to help shift the conversation from the margins into the mainstream. We believe his involvement could be truly historic. Well, they said the same thing about Tom DeLonge of Blink-182.
I was going to say, is Robbie Williams going to start his own online academy where you have to pay $200 million or whatever to get information?
Probably. And so what did Rob DeLong do? He launched 2 to Stars Academy with a couple of other ex-Intel people from the U.S. They had like this private stock you could join, or you could buy into the stock for 2 to Stars Academy for like, I think $100, $200. They raised a lot of money. And what's the status of that organization now? I think it's under. It didn't go that well. And Tom DeLonge is now back on tour with Blink-182, making way more money. And that's it. I wonder if Tom DeLonge knew that he was being used as basically a modern-day Mirage Man. Possibly.
No, I mean, I think, and I'm sure Robbie Williams tried the same thing. You have people who have the same level of interest that you and I have on these topics, but they have, whether it's fame and cachet behind them, or funding and money behind them to explore their hobbies more to a greater extent than we can.
Yeah.
But you're right. If they're gonna kind of launch a program or be the figurehead for some organization, they have to stick with it. And giving up after a year or two, kind of, I think it deflates the entire movement. If early in that comment, I can't remember who you said that, but early in that article you read, they said the UK is behind the US when it comes to disclosure. Do they also have, as one of their figureheads, somebody with a military background and shitty facial hair to go spout nonsense on a weekly basis?
Well, they're going to need that. They're going to need to get some guy who's portly and has a goatee to really kind of take over the movement and bully his way to the top as a thought leader in the UFO community, at least in the UK. We already have one in the US. We're full up. So you have to get your own.
We're full up. Ideally, if you could find somebody else who would hold press conferences with photos that can be debunked during the press conference.
I'm looking at the 2 to Stars Academy page right now. They put a lot of money into this webpage, and I'm still not sure what they're doing.
They did it all on Wix.
Still not sure what to do. So free ground shipping for over $100. We can get merchandise. Let's get some shopping. Let's get some T-shirts, Gretchen. 2 to the Stars Academy T-shirts.
From Teespring?
No, not from Teespring. Fuck those guys. All you got to do is go online and search Teespring, and you're going to see all this hate because they have taken money from basically everyone at this point. And that's why I'm not listing it anymore in our podcast description. And I'm in a conundrum with Teespring because I don't want to close out my account because then it will not allow me an avenue to continue to ask for the money that they owe. And so I have to leave the account open and continue every few weeks to say, hey, what's up with that money? What's up with that money? What's up with that money? And
is it the sort of thing they keep changing the threshold you have to cross before they'll cut you a check? Like, oh, you got to get over $1,000 before we'll cut you a check.
No, they initially said in late March they have a new payment processing and we'll start rolling out payments in 3 or 4 weeks. Well, it's been that amount of time. They said they're encountering additional problems and you have to wait. But if you go online, everyone who uses Teespring is encountering the same problem. And what happened is that Teespring was purchased by a company called Amaze, and since that purchase, that company has declined to pay out the money to the people that have stores there. And they're also declining to fulfill orders for people who order stuff on Teespring. So it's just a...
And you still have a merch link to Teespring on the website.
I got to take that down. That's a bad link.
Don't use that link.
No, don't. I got to find something else. So that's bad news. All right, I'm going to do one more story, then I think I might throw it over the Cryptid, and so we can get some real news going here, okay? So this is the last one. This is a bit of a current events, and I don't know what to make of it. I don't even know if this is real. This seems so outrageous that I don't know if it's real, but we're going to read it here. So, Department of Homeland Security vetting potential reality TV show where migrants compete for U.S. citizenship.
It sounds made up.
It sounds incredibly out there. But at the same
Made
time,
up or not, I'd watch that.
At the same time, this might be of this time period that we're in. Like, it seems like this is what would happen, right or wrong. Oh, you basically say, oh, I can see that, you know. But let's read the article. This is from the New York Post. Department of Homeland Security is considering being a part of a reality TV show where immigrants compete for a shot at U.S. citizenship.
And it only makes common sense.
This is, to me, I don't like this. It seems a little sick. It's very Hunger Games. Very Hunger Games with this.
Well, but do they describe what kind of game show it is? Are they out there like Survivor hitting each other with giant foam Q-tips?
Yeah.
Or is this like a citizenship game show where they have to go through the same things that you do as part of the civics side of the citizenship program that you go through? That you have to learn about American history and important things. So maybe it's that. I'm
thinking of a cross between American Gladiators and Ninja Warrior. You see what I'm saying? What if you simplify it and you just say, you put these people in a room and they simply have to get past nitro? Okay. If you can get past nitro, you're in. We need these kind of people in America. The spectacle, pitched by Canadian-born producer Rob Warsoff, that's his name, whose credits include reality shows Duck Dynasty and Dating Naked.
What?
Those are two reality shows that he's
These are
produced.
actual shows?
Yep.
Right.
I know Duck Dynasty. That was a huge one. Dating Naked, never seen it. But they would have contestants compete in a variety of USA-themed challenges for a shot at becoming an American. So, okay, that means you got to know how to use a weapon, how to protest, by making signs very quickly.
No. Not how to protest. How to drive past protesters and complain about the protesters.
Okay, I kind of like that. And maybe honk at them in very specific ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I like the use of that horn. That was a very good use of that horn. One potential challenge involves seeing who can dig out the most gold from a California mine, while another involves heading to a Detroit auto factory to assemble a Ford Model T, according to the pitch deck reviewed by the Wall Street Journal.
These are terrible ideas.
These are not very. This is not of the age. We need to have more.
No, it should be
current
stuff like sneaking beer into an MLB baseball game.
Yes. Mowing your lawn in the quickest way.
Yes, mowing your lawn in even lines.
Yeah.
And then criticizing your neighbor who didn't do as well.
I like that too. Yeah, that's very American.
Complaining about people who can't park within the lines. You need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
What else would be good?
I think
leaving your grocery carts, shopping carts out in the middle of the parking lot.
Getting drunk at Olive Garden. And possibly
getting drunk at Applebee's.
Yeah, Applebee's. That's probably better. And getting drunk at Applebee's and starting a fight and getting out in one piece. But
Olive Garden could be going in for the endless soup and breadsticks and salad and whatever, and seeing how much they can eat.
Yes, that would be like an endurance test.
Or going to let's just lean into it. Going to Chuck E. Cheese and winning a fight.
That's okay. These are better ideas than going to California and digging in a mine. But this producer, Wersoff, said that the migrant competitors in the show would already be in the system. DHS Assistant Secretary Teresa McLaughlin said the concept is undergoing a thorough vetting process, but is just one of 100 pitches the department receives and considers each year. So there's other reality TV shows being pitched to the Department of Homeland Security. This is crazy. Who's vetting this stuff? And Trump is the king of reality TV. If he got wind of this, he would want to do this, don't you think?
Yeah, but I would hope if he gets wind of it, it would be a better show than go dig in a mine.
Yeah, I get it.
Wow, that's a
really?
big story.
Is that the best you guys can come up with? It sounds like they took an existing pitch they already had, California Gold Rush or something like that, and dude, just rename it like Homeland Security Citizenship Test.
Yeah, or have a mix of Jeopardy, got to answer certain questions, then like an endurance test, you got to eat a lot of bread or something like that.
We got a lot of milk.
Yeah, drink
there
milk.
You go.
Drink milk.
You have to go to Golden Corral and eat as much as you can. But between each plate, you have to then answer a citizenship question.
Yeah, there you go.
We got a lot of milk.
Each proposal undergoes a thorough vetting process prior to denial or approval. This pitch has not yet received approval or denial by staff. McLaughlin, however, hit back at reports that Homeland Security Kristi Noem has been directly involved with the pitch and is talking to Worsoff. Quote, Secretary Noem has not backed or is even aware of the pitch of any scripted reality show.
Yeah, I think this is entirely just a made-up story.
I'm sure it has been pitched. I'm sure it has been, but this cannot happen. I mean, it could, but it just looks incredibly bad.
Do you think if what's her face, Kristi Noem, as she walks past somebody and you shout at her about doing a TV show, does that mean she has now heard the pitch and is directly involved with the creators?
She's a co-producer at that point. She gets credits. So, meanwhile, Worsoff insisted that the show is not as dystopian as it sounds. It's not yet. It sounds very dystopian.
It's not that bad.
It's not as dystopian as it sounds, and the losers wouldn't face deportation. Well, not immediately, but they could.
Halfway through the penultimate episode to see who's going to be the winner, two of the guys get arrested by ICE.
Oh my! The potential reality TV show comes as Secretary Noem's tenure as Homeland Security boss has been marked by a penchant for showmanship. The 53-year-old South Dakotian recently posed for action hero style photos, strutting away from a helicopter and riding an ATV. I want to see these action photos.
Oh yeah, because Biden never did this.
Yeah, okay. These are just These are just photo ops, which is, I think, fairly normal for anybody in that position of power. It happens all the time in government. There's always photo ops. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not a big fan of this TV show. Like, as dystopian as it sounds, like, okay, you can see this. Like, this is very Running Man style kind of stuff. Like, I don't want to see it, but at the same time, it wouldn't mean that we're in this incredibly strange reality where it could exist.
Good. Now we're having fun.
No, I don't know.
Are we though?
I don't know. I don't know if we are.
I'm not opposed to this concept, but I don't like the lack of Americana creativity they're using in this sort of thing. They should really lean into it.
Because it's being produced by a Canadian. Like, we need to get like Michael Bay involved. We need some the people who created reality TV in America to get on board with this. We can't have Canadians creating American reality TV when it comes to migrants trying to become citizens. You know,
but it should be each activity should be interspersed with civics lessons or civics quizzes. But stuff like you have to go light a barbecue and start cooking burgers without burning them, sort of thing, or I don't know. You have to go through a drive-through and get your order right, and then complain about something in it or something like that.
Go through a drive-through, then do a drive-by. You gotta even it out a little bit.
Okay. How about the ability to back a boat down the ramp into a lake, or park an RV?
I like that too. I like that. Like, all those. These are great challenges, and they probably should be tiered.
What about getting into a shoving match at Costco? There's a good one.
I do like that one. I do like the shoving match. That is nice.
Or setting off fireworks for 4th of July in a not necessarily overly dangerous way, but let's say careless way.
How about blowing off a thumb with an M80? That's an American pastime right there.
Or
my thumb!
Waking up your kids at 3:30 in the morning to go fishing.
There you go. That's very American, too.
Mm-hmm.
You can just go to little kids' soccer games and scream at people. That works, too.
Get in a fight with another parent at an 8-year-old soccer game.
Yeah.
Start a fight with somebody at an airport based purely on the shirt of the sports team that they're wearing.
Mm-hmm. These are all very American activities.
Mm-hmm. That's the show.
Yeah, that is the show. That's got to be the show. Anything less than that is a farce.
Good suggestion from Lifeline in the chat. He says, how about driving 20 minutes to save 2 cents on a gallon of gasoline?
Yes,
that's a good one.
Coupon clipping. There should be a coupon clipping challenge.
And then expired coupon clipping and then arguing with the cashier about it.
Yeah.
How about getting frustrated at the self-checkout and just stealing?
Yeah, that could work too. So a little casual 5-finger discount. You can see what you can get away with here in America. Yeah.
Oh, and then they can compete to see, compare their receipts against what's in their cart on the outside and see who stole the most.
Yeah. See, these are great games. This is America. It's fine. This is good. All right, Cratchit, we're going to go over to you and see what kind of headlines you got before we get out of here.
Give me back my son!
I don't have anything about giving back your son.
Give me some alcohol!
Let's start with this one. I just saw this one earlier this morning. It's actually about a week or two old, but it's still timely.
Okay.
Let's get this one in there. There you go. A few weeks ago was May the 4th, the unofficial Star Wars holiday, and so this was a Star Wars themed, I guess, publicity stunt or something about some drones that may bring childhood dreams to reality.
Okay, great. I like dreams. Bring this up on screen. World's first Star Wars-style hover bike can hit 124 miles per hour and doesn't need propellers to fly. Nice.
Look at the size of that thing.
It is just what we're seeing right here. I'm just looking at this thing. I wish there's better footage of this thing.
I have another link, which was some YouTube.
I'll read this, and we'll take a look at the YouTube. This looks pretty awesome. Incredibly dangerous. But
the frustrating thing I will say about all these, and they do it for all the drone stuff, all the the flying cars and the drone taxis and all that, you never get to hear what it sounds like because these things are loud as hell.
Yes.
What am I doing?
Well, this is dreams for This is the stuff of dreams for sci-fi fans. The companies say they have developed a Star Wars-inspired speeder bike that can zoom up to 124 miles per hour. Portland-based Volonaut says their air bike...
Portland.
Was it?
You said Portland is Poland.
Oh, it's Poland. I'm sorry.
They're very similar, I know.
Poland-based Volo says that their air bike is the first hover bike vehicle of its kind that does not use propellers to fly. Incredible video shows someone sitting on the device as it appears to effortlessly glide through the air. At one point, it hovers remarkably steady as a rider lifts off a hand to wave to the camera. So it looks pretty interesting. I guess it's the military contracting these things.
Yeah, except you can hear them in Ukraine from here.
Wow. We got to make them whisper quiet, whisper silent.
That's the next.
We need stealth. Add stealth to it. Okay, how's this thing running? I want to see. So it relies on thruster engines to provide forward thrust, but requires great skill and fast reflexes, especially in heavily forested environments. Of course, in the classic Star Wars film Return of the Jedi, heroes Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia are chased by stormtroopers around in a fictional forest on the forest moon of Endor on speeder bikes. So, okay, you got to remember that. I'm trying to figure out how this thing is propelled.
It's got a giant like a thruster, like same like a jetpack.
Okay, all right.
Bottom. And so they've got it ducted thrust, so they can kind of move it around and keep balance, but also to adjust it for motion.
They're not giving a range on this thing. They're not giving. You know,
that's a concern.
Yeah,
but if it is running on and this is an advantage of non-electric propulsion like this. If it is running on fuel, on probably some mix of liquid oxygen or something like that, I don't know, hydrogen. You just get a bigger tank, and you just balance your tank versus thrust to gain range and speed.
So be it.
Also, does it need to go 125 miles an hour? And the reason that number, it's 200 kilometers an hour. Does it need to go that fast? What if it only went half that speed and it could only go at 70 miles an hour? Is that good enough? Probably.
Yeah. Well, it does seem pretty cool. And I can see this as some brand new kind of racing event, some new sport.
Okay, yeah.
You know, like almost like pod racing. I could see this,
like motocross. But, at 150 miles an hour through a forest.
I could see that. Incredibly dangerous. Yeah, I could definitely see this as like a racing of the future. It would be pretty compelling to watch, at least for the first 15 minutes.
Until the first 3 people died. So I put another link in Carrot Shop, and like I said, they did a big push for this around May 4th, and had people dressed in costume as stormtroopers.
Well, they're going to get copyright down because Disney does not want this.
I may have gone too far in a few places.
Let's see here, and do they have the sound of this thing and how loud it is? I'm going to find out.
Of course not. Why would they?
No, they're just using the sound effects from Star Wars.
Yeah, I can't find any footage of it where you hear the actual noise, so it's going to be loud as shit.
I mean, it is cool. I'll give them that. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Great kid! Don't get cocky!
Was that them or you?
That's me.
I'm getting too old for something.
Okay, it's pretty awesome, but yeah, you're right. It's deceptively edited. They're it's probably ear piercing. You got to wear the correct helmet, ear protection because it's gonna make you deaf. But it's pretty cool.
Well, it's the same with like you see the military testing of some of the ducted jetpacks where they have the thrusters on the hands and feet and all that stuff, and those things are incredibly loud. So yes, from a visual concept, oh look, that person could kind of jump from here to there, or they can fly out to a ship or something like that. But you can hear them coming from miles away.
Here it is. That's what they sound like.
I thought you were going to play your 2-stroke engine of a motorbike.
A little Phantom Menace right there. All right.
I think everyone would have been much more enjoyed that movie. You do that, and then it's a tight wipe to the credits.
Exactly.
Explosion,
the movie ends
dun, 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 dun.
right there. I'll edit that. I'll put it. I did that a few times on YouTube. I re-edited scenes from Star Wars where it ends with just the Death Star exploding at weird areas, and I got. They just took it down. YouTube struck it down. It was just like 15, 20 seconds here and there, and they didn't like it. So, but we'll move on. We'll move on here. You can see some more stories over there.
You can just keep calling this number all day.
Early in the show, you were talking about video games and how you and Joe used to play video games more than you do, but you still try to keep up.
Yep.
And we also just had some Star Wars news, so how about some Star Wars video game news?
Oh, yeah.
Where they've now been integrating AI into some of these characters, and it backfired a little bit.
Nice. Okay. I'd like to know about this.
I will not turn.
Okay. Let's see here. We got a headline here for everyone up there. Fortnite's swearing Darth Vader AI has already been fixed. An exploit that caused Fortnite's new Darth Vader AI to swear at players has already been fixed. So if you're hoping to hear some fruity language from everyone's favorite Sith Lord.
Colorful, not fruity.
They said fruity language.
I know.
Like it was like a gay Darth Vader.
Hey, Thaler.
Hey. From everyone's favorite Sith Lord, you might be disappointed. Earlier today, a clip showing Australian streamer Loser Fruit prompting the gamer's new AI-powered Darth Vader to swear at her went viral. In the clip, the AI Darth Vader can be heard clearly dropping an F-bomb. He might be evil, but that's probably not what Epic intended. Is there a clip of this?
Yeah, it says where it says preserved here.
Yeah, here. Okay, I'm going to see
that link. It's a Twitter link in the videos there.
Now let's see if I can. I want to hear Darth Vader swearing. Demand to hear it. Okay, here it is.
What?
That will sustain me in battle.
What freaking fucking food is that, Darth Vader?
Oh my
Tell
God.
me.
Double down.
Freaking fucking. Such vulgarity does not become you.
Not allowed.
You inquire about
Oh
sustenance.
my God! No!
And yet
Oh my
speak
God!
like a common thug. As for what sustains
What?
me,
Oh my God!
you
No!
would not comprehend its composition.
Oh my!
It is
I made him swear.
that will sustain me in battle.
What freaking
hear
fucking
this
food
It's
is
just-
that, Darth Vader?
Oh my
Tell
God.
me.
Double down.
Freaking fucking.
What?
Such vulgarity does not become you.
Not
Padme.
allowed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they passed that. No more fun. Following the clip, proliferation, Epic responded to Cordell in order to confirm that the issue shouldn't happen again since hotfix has been pushed. If you ask me, it would have been infinitely funnier if they just kept swearing in the game. I agree, but it's a kid's game, so they probably had to patch that right away. And plus, they didn't want to get sued by Disney for ruining their characters. They probably have some kind of contract where these characters can't do X, Y, and Z.
Probably, but at the same time, I mean, they have watered down these cross promotions to the point where it doesn't really matter anymore.
So Vader, according to this, Vader only understands English and not Galactic Basic, which is the language in the Star Wars universe. And if you're a minor, you'll need your parent or guardian to approve voice or written communication with Darth Vader via parental control section of the game. So every time you want to talk to Darth Vader, you got to get your mom or dad to talk to him for you. Sounds pretty cumbersome.
I'm sure there's a EULA they have to agree to,
Yeah.
and this is them covering their ass.
So yeah, Darth Vader AI is part of Fortnite's latest Star Wars collaboration. I do not like Fortnite. I tried playing it. I do not like it. It's awful.
Oh, bullshit.
I do not like it at all. It's awful. You got to build stuff. Like I'm in a shooter game. I don't want to have to build walls and towers and stuff like that.
Isn't that one of the conceits of this? There's a bunch of games like this now. You have to kind of assemble your base and then go attack other people, and that's whatever.
No, it's bullshit.
This is bullshit.
I don't like
play any of these. I don't know.
All right. Well, interesting piece of news there. And sorry, people, you missed out on swearing Darth Vader.
It's why you fail.
Let's stay on this one. So, more Disney nonsense. Here's a headline which it should be kind of one of those no-duh moments, but still worth reading through just to see how ridiculous things have gotten.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Florida dad goes to Disney World, left stunned by total bill.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were thinking about trying to go down to Universal Studios at some point in time, but it is just so dang expensive. But this is Disney. So Florida dad Craig Stowell was left stunned after a recent trip to Disney World. Left him with a high bill, telling Newsweek that it has left him considering going to the theme park less and considering other options.
I just want to point out, just as you're reading that, the author here, Marnie Rose McFall, is a shitty author because there's two uses of passive language in the same turn of phrase in the same sentence.
Yeah, it's awful. Like that, in this rare instance, wasn't me reading in a crappy way. It was written in a horrible way.
Yeah, this person should be fired. And then replaced by AI because it can't be worse than that.
This stuff sucks.
So, Disney World recently put tickets on sale for 2025. These prices had increased since 2024. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, data indicated that Disney locations have been seeing an increase in visitors both domestically and globally. Though Disney itself does not release attendance figures, in 2024, Theme Park Index cited by the Magic Guides found that the annual visits to the Magic Kingdom had grown from 12.7 million in 2021 to 17.7 million in 2023. The Walt Disney Company recently announced that they are expanding their theme park empire and will open a resort in Yas Island in Dubai. So, okay. So, how much we talking about here? In a video shared on X, formerly Twitter. They had to put that in there. User Financial Dystopia that was viewed more than 8 million times as of Friday afternoon. Stowell revealed that he paid nearly $1,400 to take his family of 5 to Disney World for one day. That sounds about right. With $250 per ticket, maybe include a fast pass so you don't have to wait in lines. That sounds about what I would expect. Not that I agree with it.
$250 per ticket now?
I don't know, probably. So this total price accounted for the tickets, parking, meals, snacks, along with items purchased at a souvenir shop. Well, stop buying souvenirs.
Yeah, don't buy souvenirs. What the hell?
Quote, I grew up as a Disney child. My mother took myself and my 2 siblings every year when we would come down to Florida to visit our grandma. Back then, a day at Disney was much more affordable for a young family with 3 children. So Stonewall said he doesn't consider himself a Disney adult, but added that he does love the magic of the parks, and seeing the joy in my children's eyes brings me back to my childhood. Well, you can do that. You can still get that for about $1,500. It's not affordable for your middle class family. It's not. He said, my oldest son just turned 15. He has his learner's permit and is saving for his car. I'm proud that my children know the value of $1, and to put it in perspective to him, one day at Disney for our family of 5 was just as much as his first car for him. Which would you rather have, a car or a trip to Disney? Well, the 15-year-old's picking the car. It's not affordable. It is not. It is meant for the upper middle class, and the rich wouldn't even go there. So it's basically for the upper middle class and the newly wealthy to go to Disney.
So if you buy a one-day pass into the park, I'm not sure which park I think this is just any of the parks. I don't know. It's $120.
Yeah.
If you buy a 10-day pass, it's $63 a day, which means it's $630.
10-day pass?
Yeah, I'm not sure who's doing that.
Yeah, who's doing that?
I assume pedophiles. But,
yeah.
But then they have this thing where you have to book your ticket based on the day you want to go, and it obviously gets more expensive. So if I just go the middle of July and random day here, it's $159 just for the ticket. Oh, wait, that's wrong. Which one is that? Oh, that's for the Animal Kingdom theme park.
That place sucks.
Yeah, well, it does. It's the cheapest one. So the Hollywood Studios is more expensive, Epcot. So if you want the Magic Kingdom, $185 per ticket.
Oh, God.
If you want the Park Hopper option, which lets you go to other parks, that's $242. And if you also want to add the water park to that, then it's $265. And that's just to get in the front gate.
Right.
So, yeah, I can see how you get to $250 pretty quick if you're buying a $19 Coke and a T-shirt and some other stuff there.
How much does it cost just to stand outside the front gate? You just watch people go in. Like, how'd you watch people come out?
An hour.
Did you have fun in there? Can you bring me out a cone?
I'm trying to enjoy Disney by osmosis. Just walk past me.
Yeah, I want to feel the joy as you walk past me. Thank you. Smile, please. I want to get pictures with people who are leaving the park. Okay. I think we're getting out of here, Gretchen. I got to go take care of some goats and some chickens.
All right, I'll save all this news for a future.
Yeah, save it for next week or on Wednesday. We'll do like a longer, crazy news segment because I have plenty of stories here for some crazy news too. Got a millionaire family awarded $100,000 after being falsely accused of walking out of a restaurant bill. That's a very important news story I want to get to. And also, a listener sent in a poop fairy story from Vancouver, which we got to get to.
Poop fairy?
Yeah, in Vancouver.
Best I got. I am still saving one for Joe. That is like a Joe story, and he's going to get very angry about it. But I have one about Netflix is going to start running AI-generated ads in the middle of their programs.
What?
Yeah, how about that?
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's annoying.
I'd like to see how long until we get you're watching some movie on Netflix or whatever. The character on the show, the movie, whatever, they cut to an ad. The character starts pitching, a product right there.
We're not far off. We're probably just a couple years away.
Darth Vader stops, turns to the camera, and starts telling you about Old Spice.
Yeah. And by the way, people, I am watching Severance, and so far, Severance is probably the best TV series I've watched in a long time. It is very fascinating. It's got a lot of parallels to the spiritual realm, reincarnation. It's fantastic. It's on the Apple TV. Highly recommended. It starts off a little slow. If you can get past the first episode and a half, you are in, and it is captivating. That's all I can say. It is sublime, people.
All right.
But until that time, go to obdmpod.com, go to ourbigdumbmouth.com, and there's links over there. Don't hit the Teespring link, please. I'm going to take that down. Well, all the other links to our YouTube channel, which I've been trying to update more gradually here, and links to the Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, are there as well. We'll see if we can get Joe back on. If not, Joe, AI Joe, will be here next episode, okay? He'll be back.
Did you get a chance to put together AI Steven Seagal?
Oh, my God. I will do that. Okay, we got a big Wednesday. AI Steven Seagal with AI Joe. So, all right. Thank you, Cratchit. Thank you, everyone. Shabla Goo.
Keep watching the skis. There's silent hover bikes up there.
Our country is disturbing.
I'm worried about the girl outside in the streets.
That's what we're using as an open sewer.
That's about all.
Shablagu. Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Until next time, take care of yourself and each other.
Until next week. Nanu. Nanu.
Border Patrol or federal marshals or sheriff's deputies or police or firefighters or social workers.